Cool. So I'm going to present Factored Gossip DiLoCo, reducing blocking communication in DiLoCo, which was in this conference, and I was lucky enough that some of you came to my poster session. So the motivation is that we want to train using geographically separated devices over commodity internet. So this means that we have links that are low bandwidth and have high latency, so 100 to 500 megabits per second, not the 10 to 100 gigabits per second that data centers have. And these links are very unreliable, so they have high variance in their speeds, and they often fail. So currently, data centers use synchronized data parallel, where you have an expensive global communication every step. So yeah, you do your forward-backward step, compute gradients, globally average that. That's the really blocking part of it. And kind of what we do is that in this paper, we're investigating two approaches to improve this. So DiLoCo, like Konstantin mentioned before, and Gossip, like Kun introduced before. So in the first method, DiLoCo, it reduces communication by doing it every H steps. So in the computation phase, you do H local steps. So that means you're doing forward, backward, plus optimization step all locally. And then whatever the result at the end of those H steps, you minus the original parameters. That's your outer gradient. You globally average that and then take an out optimizer step. And because it's a global average, all workers are globally synchronized, but that makes it brittle to slow links and to failures. On the other hand, Gossip is where you only communicate with neighbors. So it's like local averaging, or we call it mixing in the paper. And so this means that workers are only approximately synchronized at each step. So that means you have to use parameter averaging. You can't use gradient averaging because then that would just diverge. And this is more robust to slow links and to failures. So the kind of standard way to do Gossip averaging is that you do your forward-backward step, you do your optimization step locally, and then you do a parameter average. And then that one would be blocking. But in the literature, there's this cool alternative where you actually overlap computation and communication. So what you do is the result at the end of the previous step is Z. You compute your gradient by doing the forward-backward step at Z. And at the same time, you also do a mixing operation on Z to get a slightly more global version, X. And then when you take your optimizer step, you actually start at X and move in, do your update step using your gradient that was calculated at Z. So that means that you're doing computation overlap without actually any temporal staleness. Your gradients are coming from the same time step. It's just that you've increased the gradient variance because you're using a gradient from a more local version rather than the more global version. So our approach, Factored Gossip DiLoCo, tries to combine these two approaches and adds also some gradient mixing. So we have that parameter overlapping communication that kind of came naturally from the Gossip side. And the really nice thing is, because we're now doing DiLoCo, you're doing multiple inner steps in the communication. So you have a long time to actually do this parameter average. You don't have to be as restricted as in the original Gossip case, where you're only doing one step. And we're also going to do gradient mixing. I'll come back to that, why we do that. And then only you take your outer step and just iterate that. And so this is where the name comes from. So you can kind of think of it as whatever parameters you have at the end of your local steps, you're factorizing that into two parts, and you're doing communication for each of those two parts. So you're factoring it into what must be blocking and what can be overlapped with communication. So mix one is parameter averaging on the result before you start taking the local steps. So that's non-blocking and overlapping. And then mix two is the outer gradient averaging, and that has to be blocking because you only just computed that now. So we do some analysis and we look at the consensus distance between workers, and we show that it's bounded by this term. And in particular, there's this factor f in it, equal to 1 plus rho2 over 1 minus rho1. So this term rho is the contraction factor of the gossip or mixing operations. So what that means is how local or global that operation is. So rho equals 0 for global averaging, rho equals 1 for no averaging or mixing at all. And so local mixing is somewhere in between. And in our paper, we're doing pairwise random mixing, so it's half or slightly more than a half. And in particular, what this means is that this term means that mix 1 is really important, because if that goes off to a 1, if rho becomes more and more local, then this term diverges, whereas mix 2, which has this factor rho2, only controls this bound linearly. So mix 1 is very important in this framework, whereas mix 2 is kind of next most important. But what we'll show later is that mix 2 is really important for the stability side of things. So based on this framework, we introduce a bunch of variants. So DiLoCo can be considered as no mix 1 and global mix 2. You can have a case where, and that has the best f actually, f equals 1, the minimal f. You can have both mixes as local, that has the worst f greater than 2. You can have global mix 1, so no blocking communication, no mix 2, and that has a nice bound of f equals 2. And then the variant that we kind of advocate for, which is having this as global and then this one as local as possible, and that has a bound with pairwise of a bit more than 1.5. And in our experiments, we actually find that the L2 distance actually matches these bounds fairly well. So orange is DiLoCo, and because DiLoCo is globally synchronized, the L2 consensus distance goes always back to 0 at the end of each outer round. Whereas our methods, they don't go all the way to 0, but they still converge nicely. So the method that has both as local has really high consensus in the error in the middle. The one without any blocking and global mix 1 is roughly at 2 times as predicted, and our global M1, local M2, which is this purple one, is roughly at the 1.5 mark, like the theory says. But what's more interesting is we also plotted JS distance. So what we're doing here is we put through a batch on each worker, get the logits, and then compute distance in the probability space. So JS distance being symmetric KL. And we find that this aligns a lot with the stability. So if we have loss spikes, you also have loss spikes in the JS distance, whereas you don't necessarily have loss spikes in the L2 distance. And we show some qualitative figures about that in the paper. And you can see that the method that doesn't have any gradient averaging, global M1, which had pretty good consensus distance, has really bad JS distance. So it's quite unstable, and in some situations we could get that one would just fail outright. Well, the other methods work pretty well. But in terms of convergence, it's still much better than the version where you have local for both the parameter and the gradient averaging. So in our experiments, so this is a training step matched experiment. This is on 1.5 billion llama models. Validation perplexity per step. You can see that synchronized DP is converging the best, followed by DiLoCo, and followed very closely, almost overlapped by our global M1, local M2, and then followed by our other methods. Slight convergence penalty. But if you're doing it based on wall clock time, we converge a lot faster in the regimes we care about, 100 megabits per second, 200 megabits per second. And yeah, so we can also do compute utilization graphs. So you can see that sync DP is really terrible in the sub 10 gigabits per second regime, which is way below what data centers would use. In the kind of 500 megabits per second to 10 gigabits per second, DiLoCo-based methods, DiLoCo does has pretty good compute utilization, but in the really commodity internet type bandwidth regime of 100 to 500 megabits per second, our methods do a lot better. And I didn't really discuss too much about it, but these dotted lines are under simulated failure. So 5% failure rate, we can also do quite well in that range. Thank you.